The Field of 68 opening day showcase concludes from the Sanford Pentagon in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, with an intriguing matchup of reigning conference champions. It is the best in the Summit League versus the top team in the Southland as the South Dakota State Jackrabbits challenge the Cowboys of McNeese State. Welcome courtside once again for the third game of our triple header today from Sioux Falls, alongside Randolph Childress and Rob Doster and our crew. I'm Alex Seinert. There is certainly more than one way to build a winning program in the NCAA these days, and these two programs who made the NCAA Tournament a season ago are proof of that, RC.
They have. Will Wade has built McNeese State through the transfer portal, and which has been amazing because he's been unable to recruit. And to accumulate this type of talent on a team that went 30-4, went to the NCAA, is just special. But on the other side, South Dakota State, Eric Henderson, what he's done over the last 5 years, this program is dominated the Summit, and he's done it with freshmen. And no returning players, two different philosophies, NCAA appearances, great success. Which one prevails? I don't think anyone is really better at doing it. The right or wrong way to do it. Great coaches, great programs.
Yeah, both of these are expected to challenge for NCAA tournament berths once again, including McNeese State from Lake Charles, Louisiana.
I'm going to put it to you guys like this in terms of how good this McNeese State team could be. Quadir Copeland averaged 10 points a game at Syracuse last year. He's coming off the bench. Sincere Parker averaged 15 points a game in 20 minutes last year at St. Louis. He's coming off the bench. DJ Richards averaged 13 a game from McNeese State last year. He's coming off the bench. Brian Salabange averaged 12 and 9 at Tulsa 2 years ago. He's coming off the bench. What are we talking about here?
We're talking about a very good mid-major, Rob, is what we're talking about. South Dakota State in that same vein, RC.
I think that how quickly does this freshman group come along? I mean, they got the transfer in Oscar Clough, who was a highly touted recruit, recruited by Clemson and TCU in the portal. He'll man the inside. He'll be the best big in the Summit. But how well does these guard play? What Eric Henderson has done in this program has been amazing. If you see his record, he's 109, 48 wins. This team is the reigning and tournament champs. They need these young guys to speed up, learn quickly, because they got a daunting task in front of them today.
It will be a tough test for this youthful Jackrabbit team against a senior-heavy Cowboy squad. Stick around.
Do you need your fix of college basketball analysis at the end of every night during the season? If you crave instant reactions and informed breakdowns, make sure you tune into the Field of 68 After Dark every night with access to the biggest stars in the sport and a cast of characters that includes the likes of Tyler Hansborough, Randolph Childress, John Fanta, John Henson, Terrence Oglesby, Jarrell McNeil, and many, many more. The Field of 68 After Dark is where college basketball happens.
It is a near-capacity crowd on hand for college basketball's opening night at Heritage Court inside Sioux Falls, South Dakota's Sanford Pentagon. South Dakota State has played here 19 times over the last decade, and the man who leads them into matchup number 20 is standing by now with the fourth member of our broadcast team, Jeff Goodman.
All right, Eric, you got a young team. You're going up against a older, athletic, maybe top 25-ish McNeese State team. You're smiling, though. Why?
We're in South Dakota, baby. Anytime we can play a game like this, especially on our home turf, we're going to sign up for it.
How do you win this, though? It's good to be here. Good to get a shot at it. How do you win it?
Well, we have to take care of the basketball. Obviously, Coach Wade's so committed with the way he plays. We got to take care of the basketball, limit their second chance points, and we'll have a fighting chance.
Thanks, Eric.
Appreciate you, pal.
You got it, man.
Eric Henderson now in year 6 in charge of these Jackrabbits. He's led them to the NCAA tournament on multiple occasions. He faces a really stiff test, though, as he said, against a team that is going to pressure him right from the start.
Switch everything. They're going to take advantage of their length. They're going to take advantage of their athleticism. They're going to try to force turnovers, make it so SDSU can't run offense.
Key players to watch here. Christian Sioux made it Southland Player of the Year, but he's competing against another guy. I think the biggest beneficiary when they double the post against Oscar Clough could be Kalen Gary's ability to stretch the floor, knock down threes. He needs to knock down quite a few to help them pull off the upset.
Eric Henderson and Will Wade would classify their teams as tough. Those two would certainly fit that description. They share the same colors. They boast a lot of similar success in recent seasons. One, though, has traveled over 1,100 miles from the Louisiana-Texas border to get there. The other just had a quick 50-mile jaunt down I-29. It is essentially a home game for South Dakota State. They would love to have a good start to help use that to their advantage, Rob.
Do you think McNeese State cares where they play? Do you think it bothers them? Do you think they're just like, all right, there's hoops, there's a basketball court, there's a ball, tip it up, let's go?
You got to think that is the mindset for the team from McNeese, who calls themselves the Bayou Bandits. McNeese State, South Dakota State, and we are underway on the nightcap of our triple header from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, in the Field of 68 opening day showcase. Alex Seinert, Randolph Childress, Rob Doster, and Jeff Goodman with you, along with our crew. And these two teams expected to be in and about the big dance once again this season after each making it a year ago. South Dakota State, their second trip in the last 3 years. For McNeese, it was their first since 2002 in the first year under Will Wade. He has brought in essentially an all-new starting five with the exception of Christian Shoemates. Similar story for South Dakota State. They turned over their roster after seeing a number of 5th and 6th year guys graduate, and then several high-profile all-conference performers leave for Kansas and UCLA respectively.
The biggest difference, Randolph, is who they brought in and how they went out and got them. McNeese State went in the portal and got a bunch of guys from high major programs and said, hey, come on down here to Lake Charles and see where we can get this done. Whereas if you look at South Dakota State, they're starting 2 freshmen, a redshirt sophomore over here in Caitlin Gary, and of course Oscar Cluff, the big man right here.
He was the one big get for them in the portal, number 45 inside, the big Aussie who spent last season at Washington State. Joe Seiler, one of those freshmen who is from South Dakota and can really light it up, getting this team off to a good start in front of a very partisan crowd.
He's a tough shot maker, and that was definitely a tough shot he took there. Murray all in his grill, and he knocked it down.
You see the starters for McNeese. Shoemate all everything in the Southland the last couple of years, including Defensive Player of the Year, as Seiler comes up with the streak, former South Dakota Basketball Player of the Year. Caitlin Gary, another Mr. Basketball in this state, just missing off target.
These are freshman guards, but these guys are physically ready to play. I mean, you're not accustomed to seeing freshmen look this physically fit as true freshmen, as a guy like Owen Larson does.
Physically fit with how, that'd be how I would describe Christian Shoemate at 6'6", a specimen getting to the rim as Seiler launches again and knocks down another.
Eric Henderson, when we spoke to him last week about to get ready for this game, he said, with Joe Seiler, you're going to see some, this might be crazy, Max Asmus in his game. Pulling up from 30 feet with a hand in your face and 24 on the shot clock. Some of the league fans are going to know all about that. That's Max Asmus right there.
Asmus, such a great player for Oral Roberts, was the Conference Player of the Year in the Summit. Back-to-back seasons before going on to Texas and having a nice career at the Longhorns. Long three by Javon Garcia off the mark. Seiler, will he try again? He's got Joe Charles on him, 6'9", a long wing, and Charles will commit the personal.
Great job by the Jackrabbits defensively. Here on the offensive end, and just attack mode, you got the big man on you. So it's just showing he's too quick for Charles, but I've been impressed with the Jackrabbits on the defensive end of the floor. They're making McNeese State take contested jump shots, and then they're rebounding it, and that's the two things that they've got to be able to do is keep the ball in front and rebound.
Owen Larson, a true freshman point guard from about 2 hours down the road in Northwest Iowa, unable to connect on his first attempt. Second chance opportunity nullified by Shoemate.
And that's the one thing right there that South Dakota State cannot do. You cannot turn the ball over against this McNeese State team. They're too long, they're too athletic, they're too good in transition. And I will say this, I have been impressed so far with the ability of South Dakota State to kind of get where they want against this McNeese State defense, because they switch everything. And we're going to talk more about this in the broadcast, but they are not an easy team to run offense or play against defensively.
A season ago, McNeese State allowing just 62 points a game, best by a long shot in the Southland. They topped that conference in just about every statistical metric as Alan Breed, the Providence transfer, nearly comes up with the steal.
My heart's pounding through my chest because I tried to move. The ball came right to me. I tried to move, and I couldn't get out of the way.
Randolph is boxed in here along the table.
You were getting ready to take a charge over there, which would have been one more charge than you took in your Wake Forest
That's
career.
true. I closed my eyes, so I don't know if they would have called a charge. It would have been a block for sure.
Well, you called every single thing that we saw out here a charge, so I think you're a proponent of the charge.
Except when it's on me. It would have.
5 to shoot now. Larson finding Clough. Matthew Moores stripped. The quick hands by Breed. And the finish in transition. Defense to offense quickly for the Cowboys.
Now, Breed's a guy, it'll be interesting to see how much rust he has on him. He injured his meniscus about 5 weeks ago. He's only been practicing for about a week since he got back in here. But Will Wade did say he was their best player as they got ready to head over to El Salvador on their foreign trip back in August.
Mentioned the rust. Breed did not play last year, redshirted after transferring over from Providence. Gary unable to connect. Seiler with the block on Breed. Great start for the redshirt freshman as Larson feeds Matthew Moores. Brandon Murray, the Ole Miss transfer, affecting the dunk for the former Wisconsin Badger as Shoemate will launch and connect from 3. 7-0 run for the Cowboys.
Will Wade said Christian Shoemate has an improved jump shot. We know about his defensive prowess and his ability to rebound, but showing you he's improved that 3-ball there.
How about Seiler with every one of South Dakota State's 8 points?
He scored 2,700 when he was in high school. 5th all-time leading scorer in the state of South Dakota. You can see why.
What was the name of his high school?
White River.
White River, yes.
White River. I heard there's not very many good broadcasters that come out of White River.
Here is Seiler in transition.
Alex, you hold a couple records there, I presume?
The only one I've got left after a couple decades of being there is on the track and field side. Certainly nothing in basketball, RC. Joe Seiler had a man who came before him in Louis Krogman from White River High School, which is a small school, one of the smallest schools in South Dakota. Krogman, the all-time leader in South Dakota history in prep basketball for scoring. So the fact that school has 2 of the top 5, it's a source of pride. Let's just say that. 8-7, South Dakota State up 1 early.
A brand. When you see it, you know exactly what quality you can expect based on the integrity of where it came from. In the Old West, when a cowboy signed on with a ranch, he committed to riding for the brand. And that commitment meant he was all in. A promise to protect the brand as if it were his own, and a loyal allegiance to those he worked with and served. Same holds true today. This is cowboy country, and here at McNeese, we ride for the brand.
If you haven't heard by now, we have partnered with BetMGM for the season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we'll have special offers for the listeners and the viewers. Download the BetMGM app and sign up using the bonus code FIELD. Deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you'll receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets. Go download the BetMGM app and use the code FIELD today.
All right, back here at Sanford Pentagon where it's early. McNeese State against South Dakota State. And one thing Will Wade hasn't had is dinner yet. So we're going to make sure Will Wade gets a little bit of the local flavor while we're here in Sioux Falls. And here he is. I know you're hungry.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
We wanted to bring you some chislik. Well, at least it's better than it was a minute or two ago, right?
Let's see what we got here.
We got Whitney coming over. Whitney with the chislik. I'm going to try some too. Tell me what you think.
Last night, you cheated.
This is good, right? You want to dip it?
Actually,
You want-
no. That's
you don't want
ketchup. That's ketchup, Jeff. That's
You
for
don't
the
want
French fries.
It looks like barbecue sauce.
Ketchup for the French fries.
I'm gonna dip it anyway.
You try that. I'm good.
All right, listen. Go back to coaching. You do that better.
Will Wade. You know, he's an unconventional coach. He doesn't mind coming over and trying to meet Skewer in the middle of the opening night of college basketball.
His team is losing here. He's like, I don't want that as ketchup for the fries. What is happening right now?
I don't know. One thing I do know, he and Jeff aren't the most selective guys when it comes to what they eat. But
I want to know where our Chislik is, man. I'm hungry too. I'm hungry too. We haven't had lunch yet. I had a wrap from what was it called? Blue Rock.
Blue Rock just across. That was a good spot last night.
It was. I had the Cajun chicken wrap last night. It was a little better than the carne chicken wrap. A little bit better than the chicken wrap that I had today.
The Cajun over the carne. That's Rob Doster's
Cajun over the
prediction.
Carne. And we got our Chislik. We got our Chislik.
Look at
Come on,
this.
put it down right here.
I can confirm not ketchup, but barbecue sauce certainly is on this
sauce.
massive platter that's just been presented to us. Alan Breed a moment ago, by the way, made all 3 of his free throws after being fouled on that 3-point attempt. McNeese now up by 2. Kadir Copeland, the Syracuse transfer, who's played on this court before, traveled with the basketball. There's a good look. Look at what they feed us. Rob said he's hungry, and look what shows up.
Live on the broadcast.
I mean, that's not too bad. Maybe at halftime. We'll dig into that.
What just happened? What did I miss? Who scored?
Picked up their pressure here. They've dropped back in a 1-3-1 last.
I'm glad we have
possession.
one
They're in
professional on
there.
this broadcast that's
2-2-1
actually paying
full
attention.
pressure here, so see if the Jackrabbits how they handle this.
Darcy keeping us back on track. Eric Henderson going to his bench.
I have to. You guys kept all the Chislik. That's on the other side of the table. I'm over here hungry looking at basketball.
Jaden Jackson now, the freshman from Bellevue, Nebraska. The Bellevue West product, same high school as William Kyle III, who was the Defensive Player of the Year in the Summit last year after spending 2 years with SDSU, then ended up with the Bruins of UCLA this offseason. Found that on the floor. Might have been Nate Barnhart, the big 7-footer, guilty of the personal.
Randolph, we were talking about it yesterday. The one thing that South Dakota State has not been able to do yet is be able to run offense and get the big fella Oscar Clough in the post. And he was the guy. I mean, Hendo's been talking about it. He thinks he could be the best big man in the Summit League. That is where they got the advantage, right? I don't think there's anybody on McNeese that could guard him one-on-one in the post. But when you pressure as far as their pressure, the one thing I want people watching this at home to look at is where South Dakota State starts running their offense. They're not doing it within 2 feet of the three-point line. They're doing it closer to half court.
Well, the problem that Clough's having is they're doubling him every time, and that just takes away your aggressiveness. So when he gets it now, help's coming. They're coming from the baseline side, and he's just not even looking to score. So they're going to force the other guys to make shots.
This is Larson, the freshman point guard, out to Stoney Hadnots. Another true freshman in the backcourt for South Dakota State. The young man from Houston cannot connect. Brandon Parker blocked by Barnhart. That length on the perimeter, creating this opportunity for Jackson, in and out. Joe Seiler still the only Jackrabbit to score in the opening 7 minutes.
I'll tell you what, they've gotten some good looks. They've gotten some open threes. I don't know if it's necessarily the guys you want shooting those threes, but they've gotten good looks.
I thought they had numbers that possession and needed to try to attack the paint. If they want to get an open three, all they got to do is throw it inside the Clough, and they're going to come and trap, and you'll get all the threes you want.
There's Copeland now. Good contest by Clough inside, who is 6'11" with long arms. Larson, another three. Great hustle play by Hadnot. Barnhart, basket and the foul.
Great hustle there by Hadnot. Athletic freshman goes in, gets an offensive rebound there.
There are some good freshmen on the South Dakota State team, as you see the play that Hadnot made. Comes out of here, keeps the ball alive, and Nate Barnhart finishes up over there. There are some promising freshmen in this South Dakota State program, and You know, being thrown into the mix your first game against this McNeese State team is not necessarily the easiest thing in the world to do, but they don't look like they're intimidated.
Coach Henderson gives them a lot of confidence. I mean, yesterday when they make mistakes, he just says play.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he told them, hey, guess what? You're going to make another one. So just continue to play. He's willing to live through these young guys, and he's worried about what they're going to look like in March, not now.
You know what I actually really liked that he was doing in practice yesterday is that when he was always positive. Anybody that's ever met Eric Henderson knows it's relentless positive energy. But they would run offense, and they would get an open look, and he was celebrating the fact that they got the open look, not whether or not the shot went in. And I think that's really good for the confidence of a lot of these kids, as you see Kalen Gary there with the lefty. By the way, Kalen Gary, right-handed shooter, throws a football lefty, right's lefty, plays golf lefty, does everything lefty except shoot a basketball.
Except shoot that floater there.
Yeah, and floaters.
The three in the corner, that time by DJ Richards Jr., who is McNeese's best three-point artist. Off the mark. They've got a bit cold of late. Scoreless in the last 3 minutes of the Cowboys. South Dakota State building this three-point advantage and a chance to add to it. Here is Clough inside, doubled immediately. The foul comes against the Cowboys, and we will step away. 11:28 to go in the first. The young Jackrabbits on top early over the Cowboys from McNeese State.
Would you be surprised to find out that the Field of 68 is home to more than 35 podcasts? More than 25 team-specific podcasts that are hosted by the people that know what fans want the most. The Goodman and Hummel podcast, the DTF podcast, the A10 Insider podcast, and the Mountain West podcast. But wait, there's even more. The Field of 68 will be launching the ACC Insider podcast this year. Subscribe to this channel and come along for the ride.
As one of the nation's strongest financial organizations, First Premier Bank and Premier Bank Card have the strength to do good. We support nearly 700 organizations and nonprofits. Our employees give more than 30,000 volunteer hours annually. And we are continually seeking ways to make South Dakota an even better place to live. It's the Premier way. First Premier Bank and Premier Bank Card.
South Dakota State in close proximity to this building. They've played now 20 times inside the Pentagon at all time, as Kadir Copeland also not a stranger to this court. Played against Oregon here for Syracuse back in December of 2023. It is a phenomenal facility for events like this, and we've seen that come to fruition since it opened back in 2013.
I think the atmosphere is great, and they've come out and supported teams that's not South Dakota State as well. So it's just been a great environment. Community's been great to us, and we've been so well received since we've been here, and I can see why so many teams would want to come here and play.
I mean, it is 5:24 p.m. on a Monday, 45 minutes away from the South Dakota State campus, and there's 2,000 people in here eating chislik, drinking beer, and watching basketball.
Pass picked off now by Richards in transition. Again, South Dakota State contesting those shots at the rim. They are certainly the smaller of these two teams outside of Clough and Barnhart inside, but those 6'3", 6'4" guards have athleticism. They're hanging in so far against this experienced McNeese State squad.
Switching everything 1 through 5.
Gary for three. Clough on the O board.
Absolutely nothing Sincere Parker could do there. You got to make an effort to go for the ball. Did a really good job of boxing out, but you got to make an effort to go for the ball, and he didn't, and it's an automatic foul.
I will tell you this right now, man. I am really impressed with what South Dakota State is doing on the defensive end of the floor. They're competing.
Their guards are physical. They're getting through the screens. They're playing in the Clough's playing in the drops, but the guards are doing a heck of a job of just fighting through screens, just trying to get back in front of the ball.
They have held the Cowboys to just 3 of 12 shooting in this opening half. Clough gets his own miss, finds Seiler. First miss of the night for Joe Seiler.
Shoemake just grabs every rebound that comes off. I mean, once he gets his hands on it, he's not letting it go.
And there's Allen Breed right there. He's been the best player for him in the summer and the fall, and it's really nice to compose it. When you're rushing, right, when you've had some bad possessions over there, just giving your ball to a point guard, saying they're going to play drop, get over here, hit that little floater, makes it really easy to do.
Clough traveled with it this time. Basket will not count.
That's the problem you're concerned with the double teams, right? Mm-hmm. He feels as though he's not involved in the game. He's your best player, but they're going to double him every time. That time he tried to attack the double team and ended up committing a foul, and that's what gets frustrating for you when they double you constantly.
Second turnover in the opening 10 minutes for Clough, 4 for the Jackrabbits in total. Breed. Gary there. Rabbits pushing in transition. That's Moores. Did not miss the jam this time.
Moore's a transfer from Wisconsin. 3-time state player of the year in South Dakota. He was a 4-star recruit when he went to the Big Ten.
It's a heck of an athletic play. He caught that in stride and immediately one step elevated and dunked it in transition.
Eric Henderson told us he has transformed his body in the offseason. More athletic this year. The corner three from Brandon Murray does not hit. McNeese's struggles from the floor continue now. Just 1 of 6 from 3 is Seiler. Crowd wanted a foul. He got hit that time. Eric Henderson can't believe it. It will be Cowboys basketball. Here's SDSU in transition a moment ago.
I mean, he just catches this one step, punches it. I mean, that's a heck of a play there. He's running out of real estate. Kind of know where he is and goes up and punches it, knowing shoemate's coming to challenge it.
Kalen Gary on the assists. Preseason second team all-conference. Murray. Too much body by Gary. Brandon Murray reuniting with Will Wade this season after starting his collegiate career at LSU when Wade was the head coach for the Tigers.
Thought he rolled his ankle there, but he looked like he was okay.
It is the second personal foul on Kalen Gary. And the redshirt sophomore from De Smet, which is only about a half hour away from Brookings, here on the eastern part of South Dakota, will go sit. Clough will come out as well. First action for Willie Wharton tonight, the redshirt freshman from Milwaukee. (15-14) South Dakota State up early in a back-and-forth contest here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. It's great to have you with us for our nightcap of a triple header today from the Pentagon. The Field of 68 opening day classic. We've got 2 really good games. College of Charleston with a 10-point win over Southern Illinois in the opener. Santa Clara a gritty victory by 7 over a good St. Louis team in the middle game. And some more of the same here in the opening 12 minutes in our final game of the triple header today.
It's more of a defensive battle here, and I don't think that's what I would have guessed. The three games that we saw, if this was going to be the one that we would see a physical, low-scoring slugfest.
Had not got away with an offensive foul there. Thought he hooked Allen Breed on he was attempting to drive.
Larson another 3, in and out.
The safest bet in America is if there's a chance to call something an offensive foul or a defensive foul. RC's going to call it an offensive foul.
Shoemate blocked at the rim by Moores. Christian Shoemate can absolutely fly. Moores was ready for him. McNeese though maintaining possession. He can do this as well. Shoemate has 1 3 so far, the only triple for the Cowboys. They are now 1 for 7 from deep. South Dakota State just 2 of 13 from the outside. Seiler's pass finds Larson. Had not. The foul will come against Joe Charles. 7:58 to go in the first. Talk about an athletic play near the rim by Matthew Moores.
They're coming over from the weak side. If you're going to get up there and meet Christian Shoemate at the rim, you better make sure that you get there.
Here, we believe in doing good.
Even in small ways.
In ways nobody sees.
And only a few notice.
We do good in all the details.
Through all the difficulties.
We do good with every appointment, every conversation,
every treatment. We do good for every person.
Because no matter what we do here,
আমরা ভিন্নতার চেষ্টা করি।
Ito pasada yika yizwoka.
Now think of all the good you can do if you join us.
If you have a question, I'll take the time.
I love being a pharmacist at Lewis Drug because I love helping people.
If you have a question, any question, I'll take the time to answer it.
If you have a question, any question, I'll take the time to answer it.
I'm Mark Griffin, president of Lewis Drug. For 81 years, Lewis Drug has been helping families stay healthy and enjoy life. If you ever have a question, any question, a Lewis pharmacist will take the time. Welcome to Lewis Drug.
There is no sport in America that is more difficult to follow than college basketball. It can be overwhelming. That's where the Field of 68 Daily comes into play. The Daily is your go-to source for injury updates, recruiting news, and transfer portal editions that actually matter. For just $50 a year, get access to the same information that your favorite team's coaching staff is subscribed for. Quality content can be hard to find in the college basketball space. The Daily is here to help you with that.
All right, back here at the Sanford Pentagon here in Sioux Falls. We got McNeese State trailing by 1 to host South Dakota State 15-14. And Eric Henderson's taking a little bit of a different approach to getting pillaged by the transfer portal. Zeke Mayo went back home as leading scorer to Lawrence, Kansas to play for the Jayhawks. William Kyle went to UCLA. Instead of complaining, Eric Henderson says he feels good about it. He's happy for Zeke Mayo that he's able to go back home and make a ton of money in NIL. Same thing with William Kyle. And he's excited for the fact of seeing all these new faces that so far, guys, they've been out here playing pretty well. And you can tell they are not intimidated one bit by McNeese State and their athleticism.
They've taken the fight to the Cowboys more often than not. This was a McNeese team that won 30 games a season ago, nearly ran the table in the Southland at 17-1. A lot of the faces have changed, but it's still a ton of high major talent coming down to Lake Charles. It's been a bit of a surprise to see how South Dakota State has handled the pressure and the athleticism of the Cowboys so far.
They have. It's been, but again, there's two successful programs and they're accustomed to winning. They may go about it differently, but winning is winning. And the ingredients and the things that it takes to win, both of these teams, it's embedded in their DNA.
Look at Hadnot running down that miss off the free throw to give Larson this opportunity, which he takes advantage of. Owen Larson, 1 of 4 now from deep. South Dakota State up by 5.
Where's the offense going to come from for the Cowboys?
Shoemade inside, shuffled the feet.
This team loves to create offense off their defense right now, and credit to the Jackrabbits. They're just taking care of the basketball. The key is getting up a shot. You don't want to turn it over. You get up a shot, they can shoot a poor low percentage, but you can't turn the basketball over.
And defensively, they've been strong. Like you look at this, and you would think that they could kind of get overwhelmed when you got young freshmen going up against guys that are big wings that were as successful in the higher leagues. But Owen Larson was a football player in high school. Caitlin Gary was a football player in high school. Joe Seiler was a football player. You got guys that are strong enough to be able to get out of it. And it helps when you're going to hit 28-footers off the dribble over and over again. We got ourselves a game here, Roy.
Seiler's third triple of the half. He's got 11. Unlimited range. That's what Eric Henderson said. This is his first collegiate game after redshirting a season ago. And to mention, he could have played last year, but he knew the minutes would be limited with Zeke Mayo and guys like Matt Mims, who played so long in this program, and Charlie Easley. Said, why don't we sit you and get you a little comfortable with college life, and you can be a big-time player as a second-year man. We're seeing that come to fruition already.
I'll tell you what, guys, do I dare say the Jackrabbits have been the more physical team.
Yes, they have.
Another miss there as Murray not quite on the same page. 8-point ball game. Clough wide open in transition. Great patience by the big man inside. Will Wade forced to take a timeout with his team down by 10. and the Pentagon on their feet.
Will Wade's upset, but he's really upset with the effort of his team right now. They're the ones that taking a step back. They're falling on the floor. South Dakota State has been the more physical team so far the first half.
McNeese State has made one of their last 14 attempts from the floor. They're shooting 20% from the floor. You can be as mad as you want at the officials. They're not running good offense right now. And South Dakota State has them scouted well, and they're playing well, and they're tough, and they're physical, and they're in the way defensively. I'm impressed. And you know, Jeff mentioned this a little bit earlier about Zeke Mayo transferring out and William Kyle transferring out. And there's a couple different ways that you can look at that if you're Eric Henderson, right? One of them is to get mad at the way that the college basketball world is set up right now. The other option is to go out and to continue developing these guys and become the place that has the best transfers for 2 or 3 years and gets them ready for the high major ranks.
Oh, we saw that.
Yeah, and they have a bunch of guys here that you could tell they've been developed, they've been coached, they fit in the system. That some of them are redshirts, some of them are true freshmen. It's really impressive to watch.
We saw that with Baylor Shireman a couple of years ago.
They've got to figure out a way to get Clough out of the paint. He's standing in the rim, he's clogging the lane, forcing contested shots. Now, I will say, Sincere Parker is a guy that can do it. He's a 16-point-a-game scorer coming from St. Louis. And he's an efficient scorer. I mean, you're talking about a guy that shoots over 40% from three. And he's on the floor now to provide a spark for this offense.
Well, Wade brought up the microwave comparison in the conversation when Sincere Parker's name came up. Had not fouled in his way towards the rim. Parker was the guy you said St. Louis really could have used,
yes.
certainly.
He's a guy, they obviously could have used him today with 0 points from the bench. Yeah. But he's an efficient scorer. You're talking about a guy that was 16 points a game. He's 49% from the field and 42 from three. I mean, that translates no matter where you go. And they need his spark right now.
Someone that can get them easy offense.
Yes.
Because nothing is coming easy right now. And, you know, so much of what they do is going to be, you're not going to get good shots against us. We're going to force turnovers. We're going to get out in transition. We're going to get second chance opportunities. Well, they're not getting to the offensive glass right now. And they are not able to force these turnovers to get out. Like, so much of what McNeese State wants to do to create offense is a result of the hustle stuff, the effort stuff, the extra intensity stuff. And South Dakota State has kind of won that battle so far.
They're forcing them to have to make jump shots, and that's not what McNeese State wants to do. Clough is standing in the paint. He's not leaving the paint. And he's standing between his man and the ball in the basket, and he's forcing everything to go over him. And this McNeese State team is a lot of things, but they're not very tall.
The tallest man they will play is 6'9".
Yes.
Long, yes. Athletic, yes, but not overly big. Brian Selabange, who is one of those bigs inside, the intended recipient of that pass. Clough got in the way, but then stepped out of bounds. Possession will stay with the Cowboys.
Stepped on the line, I think was the call. See, look at Clough just standing there in the paint.
Javon Garcia does get that mid-range jumper to drop.
And that's there all game because Clough is playing back. So they're going to force you to take threes or take the mid-range shots. And instead of going in there, jumping into him and challenging him, you got to just take the mid-range shot. And
Here's Jackson now on the drive. Back to Larson. 8 to shoot. Long three for Jackson, too strong. Copeland on the rebounds. He will try and push in transition. Had not got back and got in front. Sincere Parker.
I will say this. I do think that South Dakota State will regret missing some of these open looks that they've had from three early on right now. They have a chance to kind of put this thing away, but they can knock some of these down. You hit 2 or 3 in a row, all of a sudden an 8-point lead turns into a 15-point lead, and it's a much different conversation when you go into the halftime break. As it stands right now, McNeese State still has a chance to be able to keep this thing close. When you got it down, you got to put your foot on the throat.
SDSU 4 of 16 from 3 in this first half. 4:18 to go. Jackrabbits up by 8 over the Cowboys. Selabange, the Arizona State transfer, able to get free inside.
How did he get that pass through?
That's a great pocket pass and great job by Selabange, just using the rim for protection so Clough couldn't block the shot or alter it.
And there's Parker now getting his hands in the way. Sincere Parker, basket and the foul.
Those are the things you can't do against McNeese State. You can't have the pick 6 turnovers.
Nothing easy in transition. That was Eric Henderson's scout on this McNeese team. Parker and company running just a little bit and getting close, down by 4.
Do you need your fix of college basketball analysis at the end of every night during the season? If you crave instant reactions and informed breakdowns, make sure you tune into the Field of 68 After Dark every night with access to the biggest stars in the sport and a cast of characters that includes the likes of Tyler Hansborough, Randolph Childress, John Fanta, John Henson, Terrence Oglesby, Jarrell McNeil, and many, many more. The Field of 68 After Dark is where
championships. Noise is made here. Memories are made here. Champions win here. The only thing missing here is you. The NCAA Division II Women's Volleyball Championship coming to Sioux Falls, South Dakota this December. Get your seats at ncaa.com/tickets.
(26-22), South Dakota State's up by 4 over McNeese State. The Cowboys on a 6-0 run to trim what was a 10-point deficit, now back into a 2-possession game. Alex Heinert, Randolph Childress, Rob Doster, Jeff Goodman with you on a Monday night, opening night in college basketball in 2024. Here from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. How is McNeese slowly crawled back in after their offense had really dried up for long stretches in this first half, RC?
Well, they're a team that relies, they have a second unit, and you look out there on the court right now, they got a bunch of experienced guys that have done it at a high level. And Sincere Parker, we spoke about the transfer from St. Louis. Quadir Copeland comes in to transfer from Syracuse. These guys have plenty of experience of playing against the size of a guy like Clough, and they've seen the scheme before, and they're just going to come in and continue to try to wear the Jackrabbits down.
Parker able to convert on that 3-point play. That is the size of the deficit now for the Bayou Bandits. A near trap in the corner, had not able to keep the play alive. Moore's inside, finding Seiler. He'll take Parker off the dribble. That's a tough shot over Selabange. Clough is there, though, to clean up.
That's where I think Clough can control the paint on the offensive end of the floor. Is they're going to trap him when he gets it inside, but with his movement and his shots when the guards penetrate, he's going to have an undersized guy trying to box him out. Great job getting to the glass there and tipping that in.
Garcia now, second mid-range jumper for the masked man, Javon Garcia. Took an elbow to the nose in the summertime and has been wearing a mask ever since.
That's the second time they've ran that same set right there, too, where they've gotten the ball to one of their bigger wings in the block and had Selabange set the ball screen.
Selabange has really been battling Clough down low since coming off the bench as Parker misfires. It'll be Seiler guilty of the loose ball foul on Copeland.
The only thing that concerns me for San Diego State is them wearing down in the fatigue.
You did it. Oh. San Diego State, you did it.
I said it again. They got me again. South Dakota State. I got to put. They've been getting on me, everyone. I keep saying San Diego State instead of South Dakota State. So I got to. The next time I'm probably gonna have to buy dinner when I do it. Yeah, I'm buying for everyone. Everything's on me. But they're doing a great job of just handling the pressure early, but you got to be concerned about them wearing down.
Parker off his foot.
Where is he going?
I don't know.
Where are you going? What are you doing? What is going to happen out of that? I just – those are the things that would drive me crazy if I was Will Wade over there on the sideline, right? Like, you have a chance to be able to get this thing to 1 point, maybe tie the game, and you have a guy kind of dribbling without knowing where he's going.
6 turnovers now for McNeese State. Jackson.
Okay.
Jaden Jackson. That's a big triple just to steady the ship as we come closer to halftime.
South Dakota State's doing a great job, and when someone drives the basketball, instead of Clough sitting in the paint, he's lifting to be a relief of pressure.
And they've done exactly what you said, Randolph, is they've really emphasized when they're putting Clough in the ball screens, is get to about 8 feet and just rise up and make that little jumper right there.
Their style of play, they want to pressure. Why go to the rim and have his length be a factor? Just he's sitting in the paint, take the 8-10 footer. It's a higher percentage shot. I know it isn't analytically, but the way McNeese State plays, they don't play with an analytical style.
That is a tough finish. He has been really impressive, Stoney Hadnot, not just today in this game, but in practice yesterday as well.
Aaron pass by Murray, not on the same page with Parker. The bucket and the turnover. South Dakota State now back up by 6 with the basketball.
It's great to see a freshman be fearless, but again, it's a credit to Eric Henderson and the way he coaches these guys. Again, you're going to make a mistake, just play. He wants his guys, if they're going to make a mistake, he wants them to make aggressive mistakes.
Here is Seiler, an open 3 in the corner. Shoemate able to sky for the rebounds.
It must be nice to be able to jump like that.
Unbelievable.
That seems like fun.
Maybe someday, Rob. Loose basketball that Clough will scoop up. Feels like every loose ball going the way of South Dakota State. Moores will try a 3. McNeese will slow things up. It's Richards. The kick in the corner to Shoemate. Richards will try the 3. Tough shot over Hadnot, who was closing.
And that's what he can do, man. He is a shooter. He is out there to make jump shots. He is out there to space the floor. And I think that feels like the first good look that they've gotten kind of inside out. Another turnover here from South Dakota State.
Shot clock turned off now. Richards, can he go back to back? Yes, he can! 45% from 3 a season ago. Eric Henderson sees his lead go from 6 to 0 in the blink of an eye.
And you got to be so frustrated if you're Eric Henderson right there, because you fought so hard in this half. You have been the better team in this half, and then a 3 and a turnover leads to a second 3 in a row. And you go from feeling in a great spot when you're headed into halftime to all of a sudden this game is tied with 4.5 seconds left. That.
They've controlled the tempo and the pace of this game the first half. And just to their undoing with the turnovers has led to 6 quick points here. And they got so many handles, they don't need to force anything. You can't pick your dribble up right across half court. But again, that's a freshman mistake there by Jaden Jackson, and just a costly turnover.
33-33. Richards averaged over 11 points a game. He was mainly a bench player for Will Wade in year 1, but certainly can do that better than anybody on the team. Now 4.5 seconds remain in the half. Moore's the long pass is going to go out. And now McNeese has a great chance to take the lead going into the half.
The ball goes, it wasn't touched, so now they get the ball with 4.5 seconds left. They get it underneath their basket, so they're going to run a baseline out of bounds play here with a shot to take the lead at the half.
What a turn of events here late in the first. Breed to inbounds. It'll be Shoemates. That would have been huge for McNeese. Instead, we will go to the break. All knotted at 33 apiece. A lightning-quick 6-0 run by the Cowboys, negating so much good that South Dakota State had done in the opening 20.
Yeah, you see they're walking off. Coach Henderson's got to be proud of his guys. They've controlled the tempo, the pace of this game with their physicality. But again, a couple of costly turnovers there.
Jeff now standing by with Will Wade.
All right, well, a couple threes there. You tied it going into halftime. What did you think of the effort for the most part in the first half?
I thought our effort was good. We got to play through their physicality. We've missed 4 or 5 layups at the rim. We've got to be able to play through the physicality at the rim, drive through their physicality. we didn't adjust to that very well. We're going to have to do a better job guarding the three-point line. We knew Saylor's a really good shooter. He's everything that's advertised. We've been fortunate they've missed some open threes. We got to do a better job there. So we'll get in here and adjust, and hopefully we'll be better in the second half.
You're not going to get tossed in this one, are you?
No, I hadn't even gotten a technical yet. How did I get tossed?
Shizlick, he's making jokes. He's loose now, tied at 33 as his team fought their way back. They were down by 10 at one point in the opening 20. Honors even, though, at the break between South Dakota State and McNeese State.
If you haven't heard by now, we have partnered with BetMGM for the season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we'll have special offers for the listeners and the viewers. Download the BetMGM app and sign up using the bonus code FIELD. Deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you'll receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets. Go download the BetMGM app and use the code FIELD today.
What does primary care mean to us? At Sanford Health, it means being there when and where you need it most. It means building a relationship, because when a provider really knows you, they can deliver the best care for every aspect of your health and your life. So what does primary care mean for you? It means understanding your health for today and for where you're headed next. It means a lifetime of care for a lifetime of you.
Would you be surprised to find out that the Field of 68 is home to more than 35 podcasts? More than 25 team-specific podcasts that are hosted by the people that know what fans want the most. The Goodman and Humble podcast, the DTF podcast, the A10 Insider podcast, and the Mountain West podcast. But wait, there's even more. The Field of 68 will be launching the ACC Insider podcast this year. Subscribe to this channel and come along for the ride.
Welcome back to the Field of 68's opening day showcase. We are here halftime. McNeese State taking on South Dakota State. It is tied at 33. We've had three great games today, guys. And I'm now joined by Jesse Smith, the Vice President at Sanford Sports. Jesse, talk to me a little bit about this building, about the Pentagon, about how this whole facility came about.
Yeah, it was built in 2013. It was sort of the idea, the brainchild of our former CEO, Kelby Krabenhoff. You might recognize that name. His son Joe was a coach at Wisconsin. He had lived the AAU lifestyle and following Joe around and going to games, and knew that he wanted to build something special where you could play a full day of games, a full tournament within one building under one roof, so you're not driving all over town to different gyms. And so that was really how the idea started. And the Sanford Pentagon is just really the keystone to the Sanford Sports Complex, which is 500 acres. We've got baseball field, softball field, soccer. So we've got the field sports, the indoor sports, and we're finally starting to see the facility grow out.
When we came in here yesterday for practice, there were like 4 volleyball games going on around the side courts.
4. There were more than that. There were more than 4.
Well, you guys, you see this facility, and you see the inside, and you see the stands, and you see the suites, and you see all of that. What people don't see on the broadcast is you walk up these tunnels right here, and there are courts. They're all set up, ready to go. They have it's full basketball court. It's got volleyball set up. They got scoreboards. They got everything. It's a really impressive facility that you guys have.
It's the building that never sleeps. We've got nine courts in here. These bleachers go back as well. So you've got 3 in the main court. We're home to the Miami Heat's G League affiliate, the Sioux Falls Skyforce, and so we wanted to give them a proper home that meets the NBA arena standards, and so we're compliant with those. And then you mentioned the 6 outer courts that ring the outside of the building, and they're always busy. Whether if you go out there now, it's youth basketball. My daughter's got practice tonight right now, so you've got something going on outside, and you've got this incredible event going on inside, and you really don't know that either is happening if you're not at one of the two.
You and I talked about this event, I don't know how many months ago now, 6 months, 9 months, a year, whatever it was. We talked about it. Now to watch this thing come to fruition, I know for me, I'm proud, and I know Rob is too, about partnering with you guys and how well done. I talked to Scott Drew, who's been here twice, and he said, listen, you go there, you're going to have 0 issues. They put on a first-class event. We have seen that. From your take, what's today been like?
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate both of you guys putting your trust into us so that we could execute this. I tell people about this all the time. I tell our story at the Final Four. Hey, this is who we are, and they're like, yeah, but it's a cornfield in South Dakota, and I always tell people you've got to see it. And so when you guys were here for Summit League Media Days, I was fortunate enough to meet you and be able to walk you through the facility. And this is what we love to do. These are the events we're passionate about. Our staff love these things. The fans love these things, and so we're just fortunate to be able to be associated with guys like you that love basketball. That's what this community loves. That's what we love, and so it's fun to get together, to see your vision come together, and have it out here on the floor. It's awesome.
And let's be clear, it is a cornfield in South Dakota that we're in, but it's also a place where, you're right, the community comes out and supports it. We've been out and around town, and we're just, they're like, oh, what are you in Sioux Falls for? We're here for the Field of 68, the showcase. Oh, the basketball game that's happening at the Pentagon.
Yeah.
So the people around here know what's happening. The people around here
Downtown's
love their
awesome.
sports. Yes.
Awesome, which we hadn't been until this trip. We've been here a couple times already.
I'm not going to lie to you. The Philly cheesesteak soup that they have at Minerva's might have changed my life. Might have changed my entire existence.
He's going to go over later and probably bring some home.
All right. Yeah, it's a downtown staple.
Yeah, well, listen, Jesse, we appreciate you being here. We got another half of basketball here before things are all said and done for the Field of 68 opening day showcase. We appreciate you guys having us up here. And honestly, I don't think that this event could have gone better. Maybe we'll get a buzzer beater out of this game.
Yeah.
That's the only way it could be done.
Would be good.
Hey, we've had
Can you make that happen?
I'll just wave my magic wand. We've had incredible games today. You guys really hit the mark with the teams you've got invited here, the coaches that are here. When we talked about this, you said, I want coaches they're going to back it up and they're going to play anybody anywhere, and you've made some incredible games. So thank you for letting us be a part of that.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate you guys being here.
Yeah, it's been a blast, man. Listen, we'll be back with more from the Field of 68 opening day showcase. We're going to talk about what we saw in the first two games and maybe make a prediction on who's going to end up winning this game. We'll see.
A brand. When you see it, you know exactly what quality you can expect based on the integrity of where it came from. In the Old West, when a cowboy signed on with a ranch, he committed to riding for the brand. And that commitment meant he was all in. A promise to protect the brand as if it were his own, and a loyal allegiance to those he worked with and served. Same holds true today. This is cowboy country, and here at McNeese, we ride for the brand.
No sport in America that is more difficult to follow than college basketball. It can be overwhelming. That's where the Field of 68 Daily comes into play. The Daily is your go-to source for injury updates, recruiting news, and transfer portal additions that actually matter. For just $50 a year, get access to the same information that your favorite team's coaching staff is subscribed for. Quality content can be hard to find in the college basketball space. The Daily is here to help you with that.
A brand. When you see it, you know exactly what quality you can expect based on the integrity of where it came from. In the Old West, when a cowboy signed on with a ranch, he committed to riding for the brand. And that commitment meant he was all in. A promise to protect the brand as if it were his own, and a loyal allegiance to those he worked with and served. Same holds true today. This is cowboy country, and here at McNeese, we ride for the brand.
Right off the jump, right? Like if McNeese State jumps out here to an 8-0 start, she makes it a dunk, and it's something where the crowd kind of gets out of it. It's very easy for that thing to kind of spiral. But when you get out there and you get that lead and you get those shots, and you get that little boost of confidence and the ejection, and you got these 3,500 people just clad in rabbits on their sweatshirts and the blue in here, that can really get you going as a team.
They've knocked down 5 threes. They've missed a couple of them that were wide open shots. Who continues to control the paint? Can they eliminate turnovers and can continue to get shots? Even if they don't hit a bunch of threes, just get up shot, don't turn it over. And can McNeese State continue with the adjustment that they made of taking that mid-range jump shot and not driving it all the way in the rim and getting a contested shot against Club?
Let me ask you this, Randolph, and Alex, you too. If I would have told you in the first half that South Dakota State had 9 turnovers and was 5 for 19 from 3, what would you guess the score would be?
Not this.
Down by like 12, right? So they're right in this thing, and they haven't even played their best basketball yet. If I'm there finishing, that is what I'm telling my team. We haven't even kicked into gear yet, and we're right here. We should have been up by 5 heading into the game.
The fact that they're a +6 in the rebounding battle has helped negate some of those open misses and some of those turnovers as well.
They've matched the physicality, and it's a really good ball game. And who has the better second half, we'll see.
Nothing to separate South Dakota State and McNeese State. More to come here on the nightcap from the Field of 68 Opening Day Classic.
At NCAA Championships, noise is made here. Memories are made here. Champions win here. The only thing missing here is you. The NCAA Division II Women's Volleyball Championship coming to Sioux Falls, South Dakota this December. Get your seats at ncaa.com/tickets.
Do you need your fix of college basketball analysis at the end of every night during the season? If you crave instant reactions and informed breakdowns, make sure you tune into the Field of 68 After Dark every night with access to the biggest stars in the sport and a cast of characters that includes the likes of Tyler Hansborough, Randolph Childress, John Fanta, John Henson, Terrence Oglesby, Jarrell McNeil, and many, many more. The Field of 68 After Dark.
20 minutes left. The basketball here from the Sanford Pentagon in Sioux Falls. The analysis of opening day, though, is going to continue long into the night at 8:30 p.m. Central. It's the Field of 68 After Dark show live here from the Pentagon. I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say about what's coming up later on. More basketball coming up here on the floor. Second half action on the way next.
At NCAA Championships, noise is made here. Memories are made here. Champions win here. The only thing missing here is you. The NCAA Division II Women's Volleyball Championship coming to Sioux Falls, South Dakota this December. Get your seats at ncaa.com/tickets.
Do you need your fix of college basketball analysis at the end of every night during the season? If you crave instant reactions and informed breakdowns, make sure you tune into the Field of 68 After Dark every night with access to the biggest stars in the sport and a cast of characters that includes the likes of Tyler Hansborough, Randolph Childress, John Fanta, John Henson, Terrence Oglesby, Jarrell McNeil, and many, many more. The Field of 68 After Dark is where college basketball happens.
Scenic Falls Park, not too far from here, just north of downtown
Sioux
Sioux Falls. Those are the falls that
Sioux
Sioux Falls is named after. Yeah, the Sioux River spilling over. It's a beautiful sight. South Dakota State.
Is that where the walleye fishing is? Is that where you're going to take us?
You would probably not go fishing at Falls Park. You could sure try, I suppose. Some people bring their poles down there. One of the top 10 things to do in South Dakota's largest city. Second half action underway. Good basketball game. South Dakota State of the Summit League picked to finish second in that conference behind Kansas City this year. Marvin Menzies bringing everybody back for this Ruse team that was awfully good down the stretch in the Summit. McNeese, the heavy favorite to repeat as Southland champions. 3 to shoot. Morris has to fire. Good defensive possession from the Cowboys.
It's a really good defensive possession there.
Yeah, you see Joe Charles is back in the game. That's going to be an interesting one to watch. Alan Breed hits a 3 to give McNeese State the lead, but Joe Charles is back in the game. He got 2 fouls early in the second half. He is the guy, 6'9", long, athletic. He could be a difference maker because he's got enough size to get in there and kind of bang with Oscar Clough a little bit.
Breed with the 3 on one end. He's got 10 now, and then the steal on the other on the errant pass by Seiler. Turnover starting to creep in a bit for the Jackrabbits at the end of that first half, and now in the second as well. That's the third personal foul on Kalen Gary, by the way, who had to sit for much of the second portion of the opening 20.
Hadnight's played well the first half.
Yes.
Freshman. And having his length and athleticism out there it doesn't hurt you at all.
Hadnot with 5 points and 5 rebounds in his collegiate debut. Garcia lighting up a tray in the corner. 9 now for Javon Garcia. He was a 44% three-point shooter a season ago at College of the Sequoias after starting at UMass. 6-0 run for the Cowboys. It's a 12-0 run across halves.
That's 4 threes in the span of about 90 seconds to break this thing open. That's what you couldn't do if you were South Dakota State.
Big possession for the Jacks. Seiler can answer.
I wish we could get a zoom-in close-up on Brandon Murray's reaction when that shot went in, because he was like, I got this. Yeah, that's a shot. Oh, he just hit that right in my face again. But that's what you need, man. Like that's the value that he brings. Is everything can break down. You can have a bad offensive possession, and he can knock down that shot. Jeff Goodman was able to catch up with Eric Henderson at halftime, and the one thing that Hendo basically said was, keep shooting, keep playing, keep firing. We have been the tougher team. We can continue to be the tougher team, but you got to go out there and have fun and make shots.
And what does it say? Threes, dunks, layups. That was the refrain at shoot-around yesterday. Brandon Murray had the answer immediately a moment ago for McNeese State to get the lead back to 5. A foul, however, on the Cowboys. It's going to be Garcia. Second personal.
Clough's got to get going here, too.
Oh.
So far in the second half, they're not doubling him. He was anticipating the double team because they did it early in the first half. He's getting one-on-one options right now. He's got to recognize that. He has enough experience to see that, seal, and go. Like right now, they're not doubling him.
They'll give it to Larson, who knocks down the triple in the corner. Second tray of the day for the true freshman. His dad used to be an assistant at South Dakota State in the early 2000s. He was actually born in Brookings. Rob Klinkafus, who's in his 20th year on staff and is now the associate head coach, used to babysit Larson growing up. A jackrabbit through and through, and he's got a chance on the break now. This is Larson for the easy lay-in and the tie. How about a 6-0 run for the quote-unquote home team now to level things at 41?
I don't think there's any doubt about it who these fans are here to cheer for.
The quote-unquote.
Yeah.
Well, you know. Allen Breed on the drive. A lot of contact on his way. We should say we did see some McNeese State fans who had made the trip up from Lake Charles last night at the restaurant.
You just don't know which is which because they're the same colors.
It's the same color.
Yeah, we had Charleston and Southern Illinois. It was the same problem. It's the same colors. Normally when you look in the crowd, you can see the colors in the different seats to know who was who. You can't do that now.
The family we talked to last night said this was not their first trip to South Dakota. They came when McNeese State played the Jackrabbits in football in 2008. That was a 3-overtime game in which the Cowboys converted a 4th and 21 in the second overtime to keep the game alive. They ended up winning in the third overtime on SDSU's homecoming. I got the full details of that story last night as we were leaving the restaurant.
I'd go for a 3-overtime game.
What I can tell you is the few McNeese State fans are right behind their bench. Everybody else, that's South Dakota State. Ain't no question about that.
That's how you know who's
That's exactly how you know. Going to the 1-3-1 here. And
when they forced the turnover. The length of Charles at 6'9". That is their game in a nutshell. When a team has disruptors on their T-shirts for pregame warm-ups, that gives you a hint of what they're all about. Quick 4-0 run. Hadnot from the corner. South Dakota State starting to hit those open threes.
Shooting is contagious, Randolph. It is contagious.
They got 4 shooters on the floor right now, so if they just don't turn it over, they can get a good shot.
Even a turnover, like you can live with turnovers. It's the pick six ones. It's the turnovers that lead to a dunk because there's nothing you can do at the other end. You throw a ball out of bounds, you can get back there and you can play defense. But look at this. You got Joe Charles out here. What is Owen Larson going to do? What is Joe Seiler going to do? Like, they got no chance. And so you're giving up a 100% chance at 2 points versus being able to. We've seen them be tough enough defensively. It's those pick six turnovers.
Cowboys with 13 points off South Dakota State turnovers. SDSU forcing one of their own a moment ago on the shoemate personal.
I mean, Allen Breach right now is on Clough one-on-one. He has to establish himself and just run to the block against that matchup and command the ball.
That's 3 on Joe Charles.
Lawson is starting to come alive here. As he shows you here, knocks down, gets the handoff, knockdown 3, making a mistake. The Jackrabbits are here to stay, down 1.
As one of the nation's strongest financial organizations, First Premier Bank and Premier Bank Card have the strength to do good. We support nearly 700 organizations and nonprofits. Our employees give more than 30,000 volunteer hours annually. And we are continually seeking ways to make South Dakota an even better place to live. It's the Premier way. First Premier Bank and Premier Bank Card.
Do you need your fix of college basketball analysis at the end of every night during the season? If you crave instant reactions and informed breakdowns, make sure you tune into the Field of 68 After Dark every night with access to the biggest stars in the sport and a cast of characters that includes the likes of Tyler Hansborough, Randolph Childress, John Fanta, John Henson, Terrence Oglesby, Jarrell McNeil, and many, many more. The Field of 68 After Dark is where college basketball happens.
All right, Jeff Goodman back here at the Sanford Pentagon, and we got McNeese State leading South Dakota State 45-44 with 15:44 left in the game, and I got McNeese State AD Heath Shore. It still sounds weird, athletic director. You and I have known each other 20 years.
At least.
You were a college coach, and that's what you were, and then you went to the dark side, and you became an athletic director,
No doubt.
and you hired Will Wade, which was very controversial about a year and a half ago. Why? Why'd you do it?
Well, I'll tell you what. It's, 3 things. Honestly, I've known Will for a long time, and his career needed to be rebuilt. Our program needed to be rebuilt. And honestly, Jeff, our community was still suffering so badly after the hurricanes. So it was really a perfect storm. He's a great fit in Louisiana. He has been phenomenal for our community, and obviously it was controversial, but a decision that I stood by from the beginning, and obviously it's worked out.
Brandon Murray, who played for him at LSU his freshman year, playing for him again now, said he's gotten soft. What's the biggest difference you've noticed in him, really, with everything he's gone through?
I think that he's really appreciative. When you're a young coach, and I was this way too, you're always looking for what's next, right? And he's really where his feet are, and he's really given into this community, and this community has just embraced him. And now I will tell you, I go to practice, so I don't know how soft Coach is, but he does
softer maybe.
Yeah, he does a great job, and we're really proud to have him and honored to have him.
This team, a lot of high major transfers coming in. He tried to build it to win an NCAA tournament game, didn't he?
Absolutely. When we lost last year to Gonzaga, and I met him outside the locker room, and the first thing out of his mouth was, "We got to get better. We got to get bigger, and we got to get better." And we did. He wants to win games in the NCAA tournament, and so do we. The great thing about Coach is that, we're really aligned. Our president, Dr. Wade Roos, myself, and obviously Coach, we're all aligned and how we're going to do things and what we want to accomplish. And he knows as a coach, and I knew as a coach way back in the day, that alignment is everything. If you don't have that alignment, it's hard to be successful.
Heath, appreciate it, man. Go watch the rest of the game. It's going to be a good one.
Hey, before I let you go, Melissa thank you for allowing Jeff to come out here on your anniversary, and happy anniversary.
Thanks, Heath. Appreciate it. Thanks, man.
That's a classy shout out from Heath Shore. Yes, it is Jeff Goodman's anniversary today on his wedding, and he's in South Dakota. He did say there's a fancy dinner waiting on the return to the East Coast. But great insight there from Schroyer about why he brought Will Wade to the program, and certainly they've seen the fruits of that decision.
Rob and I spoke about this after we interviewed Will Wade a couple of days ago, and he talked about how the same thing we just heard in the interview. When he was young, he just was looking forward to the next thing. He just expected these things because he was a successful head coach so early. But having gone through everything, there's a level of humility now, and he's embraced this situation. And he won't be at McNeese State long. I think by the end of the year, someone will offer him a high major job. But the things in the past they're definitely in the past, but more importantly, it's changed him. He's definitely not the same guy that he was before. And he humbly admitted that, and it's the whole experience is just put his feet on the ground, so to speak, and it's been fun to watch his transition here. But he's still about toughness and defense when he gets his players now. But it's great to hear a guy just be open and honest about his mistakes that he made.
Yeah, he was very adamant that, like, he rushed everything. He was always trying to get to the next place, and it wasn't okay. I can be here. I can put some roots down. He was trying to figure out what the next job was, what's the next opportunity, and if he wanted to be gone last year, Randolph, he could have been gone. There were opportunities there for him to be able to go get a higher level, maybe a bigger conference job, but he's still here, and I don't know if it's going to be forever, but I think he's going to be here until the right opportunity comes along.
I didn't think that was a foul there if the freshman drove and had not, who's really impressive again. He's just wise beyond his years and drove there and elevated amongst the trees, took the contact. And, talking again about McNeese State, talking about them getting to the NCAAs, I think they're the clear favorite to win their conference. But this team was put together again to have some success in the tournament, and I think they'll win a game or two in the tournament. I mean, they've scheduled that way with Alabama, with Santa Clara, Mississippi State. Like, there's some high major opponents here to get them ready, so when they do get through and get to the NCAA, they'll have some things to draw upon, some experiences.
Had not unable to connect on either free throw, but the Jackrabbits get a second crack. Larson's three, too strong. Still a 2-point ball game. Murray able to hang on to the basketball for just a moment. Barnhart the steal. Jackson the transition. Three drops. The reigning Gatorade Player of the Year in Nebraska nails the transition tray. Jackrabbits back on top by one.
He's 1 of 5, and he pulled that as if he was 5 for 5. Just great confidence. And again, we've seen it with the coaching staff, giving these freshmen and these young guys the confidence to take those shots.
They were South Dakota State was 5 for 19 from 3 in the first half, 4 for 6 here in the first 6 minutes of the second half. What did Hendo tell him at halftime? Keep shooting, get him up.
Murray, as the shot clock expired, had to heave up a prayer, and now Clough tied up, and Breed is going to pick up the personal.
Just a sloppy possession there by McNeese State, and Jackson just comes down, one dribble and pulls up. And again, he was 1 of 5 before that shot, but you wouldn't know from the confidence that all of these freshmen have shown.
That really has been impressive, and I know we've talked about it a lot, but they don't look like freshmen out there. They're not timid. They're not scared of the moment. They're not shying away from this team. And I don't know if that's just who they recruited. I don't know if that's what Eric Henderson and the staff kind of. There you go. And that's the first time we've seen him be able to get that seal and get that post.
Well, it happened again when Jeff was doing the interview. That's actually the second time. I was just about to say, I'm wondering if they were going to continue to go to him. He's sealing now because the double team isn't coming anymore. And they were doubling him early, and he got passive, and he started expecting the double team. And his second half, when the second half started, they stopped doubling him. So let's see now if he gets more and more comfortable just demanding the ball in the post and turning and scoring.
Eric Henderson's team with a 3-point advantage. Clough at the free throw line. 13:43 to go in the seconds. Oscar Clough now with 9 points and 10 rebounds in his official South Dakota State debut. The big man from the Sunshine Coast in Australia, just north of Sydney. Did I say Sydney? Sydney. Let's try that. As we have said, it's been a long day. Good defensive effort by the Jackrabbits. Another empty trip for McNeese.
That's just a bad possession when you drive and you're challenging Clough at the rim. And the 8-footer, the 10-footer is just there. He's just standing in the paint and he's just retreating. And you had some success taking mid-range shots earlier, and then now it's definitely a foul there by freshman again. Hadnot driving again, another freshman trying to make plays.
Hadnot's ability to kind of get where he wants to go on the floor. He can take 1 or 2 dribbles. It's all like straight line drives right now, but he can get to the lane whenever he wants to get to the lane.
His size and his athleticism translates, and it doesn't matter who he's playing against because he's playing against older 4th and 5th year guys. And you're looking at this young man as a freshman, but he's standing every bit of 6'6".
Well, he gives South Dakota State something they've not had in recent seasons: length and athleticism on the wing. And some toughness as well, and we've seen that tonight.
I got a question: are all these freshmen required? Does everyone play football? Because even Jackson comes in and look at these freshmen. Like I walked through a campus.
Welcome to the Midwest, Randolph.
That must be what it is. Y'all eating all that with Chislett?
Chislett.
Eating all that Chislett. That's
these
what
are
it is.
corn-fed.
Stoney's got 2 cousins that did play in the NFL.
That is so absolutely accurate.
Football runs in the blood. He is from Texas.
The lead now growing to 6. South Dakota State's biggest. Well, at least until that final minute of the first half. They've led by as many as 10. Foul on the drive. That's Garcia back on his feet.
I will say this game was a lot more fun when they were letting the physicality go in the first half.
Things have tightened up a bit since the interval.
McNeese State, both teams are in the bonus now. 13 minutes left. It's going to be a free throw contest, Randolph.
Well, let's see if the depth, what prevails. Because both teams are going to be forced to go to their bench.
That foul was on Joe Seiler, who did pick up his 4th.
Yeah.
To your point, Kalen Gary already with 3. Both Copeland and Charles have 3 for McNeese State. Coming in, the Cowboys expected to be the deeper of the 2 teams. A number of players on this Cowboy roster that were starters a year ago. Now more, 7th, 8th men coming off the bench. Larson blocked from behind by Celebange, but gets the loose basketball. Shot clock did not reset. Moore's on the baseline. Jackson. Moore's thought about the 3. Jackson will try it from way downtown. Parker with the rebounds. 5-point ball game. Parker, no. Richard, on the rebound now. Moores will get there in front of the McNeese State bench. Jackrabbits in transition. Hadnot. Here's Copeland. He is a straight line driver, and his pass taken away by Larson. Copeland maybe got away with that one.
It's interesting. We talked at the Open about how South Dakota State couldn't let themselves get sped up, right? They couldn't let themselves have McNeese State's defense dictate the tempo of this game, the tempo that they ran offense. And the exact opposite has happened. It feels like McNeese State is kind of rushing in their half-court offense right now.
Well, they're not a great 3-point shooting team. They got certain guys that are, and those guys aren't necessarily shooting it well. But what happens is they're negating the pressure because they got 4 guys on the floor at all times that can handle shooting pass. Mm-hmm. So it's eliminating the pressure. They just got so many pressure release. It doesn't fall clearly on Lawson or Gary or anybody. It's just whoever rebounds it other than Clough can bring it up. And these freshmen with nerves of steel.
Jackson's pass off the foot of Moores. Last touch by Celebange. We'll step away. 11:34 left in the second. South Dakota State with a 5-point advantage over McNeese State here in Sioux Falls. 11:34 to go in the seconds. South Dakota State up by 5 over the Cowboys from Louisiana. McNeese State, both teams going into the portal, one more than the other in this offseason. A lot of big-time transfers coming to McNeese. Oscar Clough, a big one, of course, for South Dakota State.
Yeah, what he gives them in the summit is he'll come in instantly and be the best big man, I think, in the league. And I've been impressed with his patience. You know, they're doubling him. He's comfortable with that. You come in and he's a focal point of this offense, and usually scored 21 points in an exhibition game, and he's just been letting the game come to him and not forcing anything.
I do think it's funny that we have a terrific transfers graphic, and there's 2 guys from McNeese State when there's we don't have Brandon Murray or Alan Breed or Sincere Parker or Brian Salabange.
There were some limitations to what the format of that graphic would
To be
allow.
clear, that wasn't a criticism. I'm just saying, like it's the way that they build these programs has been. It's two very different styles, and both of them clearly work.
McNeese a moment ago forcing the 13th turnover of the day for South Dakota State. Chance for the Cowboys to get a little closer. It is Joe Charles, preseason first-team All-Conference in his first year with McNeese. Garcia, who's hit a couple of those, could not connect. Now a 2-on-1 chance. Larson to Clough. Everything but the finish that time. Basketball went off of Garcia.
And what Will Wade cannot be happy about is he's okay with the shot you got. They took the last possession, but you got to run back. Clough can't get a layup in transition. If he's outrunning your guys on the floor, as small as the McNeese State team is, it's got to be a problem. I thought that was off the hand of Garcia there. Officials made the correct call.
Jackson a catch and shoot. Gary back on the floor with the offensive rebound. That's the 10th offensive board for South Dakota State. Good cut by Moores, finding Larson. Got Breed to jump. Owen Larson! Third triple of the day. He's got 11 in his collegiate debut. The true freshman out of Esterville, Iowa, helping South Dakota State build this 8-point advantage. Breed cannot quiet the crowd as Clough hauls down his 11th board. This is Gary. Now the foul called against Alan Breed.
Great job there, just attacking in transition. They're just not playing timid at all, and when they rebound the ball, they're punishing McNeese State for going after the offensive glass. Clough's grabbing everything, and when he gets it, the other 4 guys are just running out, putting pressure on the rim, and it's opening up 3-point shots as well.
The size of Clough the size of Clough is just such a difference maker out here right now, and it's not just they throw the ball in the post and he's going to make something happen. It's not just blocking shots. He just takes up so much space, and you have to be so cognizant of where he is. And he's not pushing it anymore. He just walks wherever he wants to go, and you can't stop him.
Gary knocks both down. The lead back to double figures with 10:06 to go in the seconds. McNeese scoreless in the last 3 minutes, could use a bucket here in the worst way. Here is Breed.
Great call there by Will Wade, settling this group down. Anytime the ball's in the middle of the floor, South Dakota State is trying to weaken, push everybody to their weak hand. Great call there to get Breed to a strong hand. 10-second call here.
Didn't get the timeout in time. Breed gets the bucket. They force the turnover. The lead down to 8. Cowboys basketball. Alan Breed, by the way, with 14 now, tied with Seiler for the game high.
Moore's got to keep his dribble there, continue to attack. He was expecting a double team and picked his dribble up. One-on-one, just bring it across half court, then find one of your guards so you can get in the offense.
Whistle here against Jackson. on the backside.
Jack Rabbits, number 14, Jay Jackson, his second. Team foul 7.
I didn't think there was much contact there. Yeah, I thought Breed lost the ball having it in his left hand, and officials thought there was some contact.
Alan Breed at the free throw line. Will Wade talked about his positivity, coming in right away and being a leader. He'd been with the program for a little more than a year, but making his first official start today. He played against South Dakota State in the NCAA Tournament a couple of years ago for Providence. Had 5 points in the first round back in 2022 for the Friars against the Jackrabbits.
Of all the transfers, Will Wade said he's the one that impressed him the most. He knew he was a good player. He didn't know that he was this good.
He's got 16 today, 7 of 7 from the free throw line. He's been the offense at times in this second half as McNeese has gone cold. Still they trail by just 6. Another turnover forced. That's Charles. Brandon Murray tried to find shoemates. Larson got in the way, but was out of bounds.
Great hustle there in transition. You thought it was a breakaway dunk. Jackrabbits all hustled back, and
the impact Joe Charles has on this game defensively, I think, is something that we haven't talked enough about. And he's been in foul trouble. He's had 3 fouls in this game. He's only played 14 minutes. But his length and his switchability, it's different than anything else that you see on this McNeese State roster.
Well, this is Charles. Blocked by Moores. That's the second highlight reel block by Matthew Moores tonight. He'll try the 3 at the other end. Clough is there. The putback is in.
Clough has been dominant, and he's controlled the glass with anybody on him other than Charles. He's just moving him out of the way. Doesn't matter what shot the Jackrabbits take. Clough's there to clean it up.
Big answer there by Garcia just to settle things down. Crowd was on their feet. Clough, by the way, with 11 and 12 now. Garcia into double figures. 61-55. Just over 8 to play. The nightcap in the Field of 68 opening day showcase. Moore's the skip to Jackson. He's 2 of 8 from deep. Make it 3 for 9. The true freshman still shooting it with confidence. They are 6 of 12 from behind the arc in this half. Garcia off balance.
That's a tough finish.
Will Wade calls timeout here with 7:44 to go in the second.
Moores has been doing it on the defensive end of the floor all game long, but rotating over, blocking that, getting this group out in transition, and Clough cleaning up the glass, something he's been doing all game long. Jackrabbits up 7.
If you haven't heard by now, we have partnered with BetMGM for the season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we'll have special offers for the listeners and the viewers. Download the BetMGM app and sign up using the bonus code FIELD. Deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you'll receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets. Go download the BetMGM app and use the code FIELD today.
If you have a question, I'll take the time.
I love being a pharmacist at Lewis Drug because I love helping people.
If you have a question, any question, I'll take the time to answer it.
If you have a question, any question, I'll take the time to answer it.
I'm Mark Griffin, president of Lewis Drug. For 81 years, Lewis Drug has been helping families stay healthy and enjoy life. If you ever have a question, any question, a Lewis pharmacist will take the time. Welcome to Lewis Drug.
Would you be surprised to find out that the Field of 68 is home to more than 35 podcasts? More than 25 team-specific podcasts that are hosted by the people that know what fans want the most. The Goodman and Humble podcast, the DTF podcast, the A10 Insider podcast, and the Mountain West podcast. But wait, there's even more. The Field of 68 will be launching the ACC Insider podcast this year. Subscribe to this channel and come along for the ride.
Great ball game tonight between two teams with big aspirations this season. South Dakota State with the 7-point advantage over McNeese State here in Sioux Falls. Alex Seinert, Randolph Childress, Rob Doster, Jeff Goodman, and our crew. You can't ask for much more on opening day. We've had 2 great games, a third in progress. This is what college basketball is about.
Yeah, and the level of intensity here has been really, really fun to watch. And I'm glad that we had this game as the nightcap, because you get all the fans in the stands, you get the noise, you get the crowd, you get the ambiance, you get the real feel of what the Pentagon is.
Coming out of the timeouts, Eric Henderson going with his 2 bigs, Barnhart and Clough on the floor at the same time. You expect some pressure from McNeese, and they will show it on the inbounds. It's a heady play by Larson. Hadnot on the drive. The reverse layup from
Great job by Clough there. They were trying to front him. He continued to seal and gave the driving lane up. The Hadnot to close out and finish with the reverse lay.
Charles at the other end. Joe Charles, not necessarily known as a guy that can stroke it from distance. He can do this as well, forcing another turnover. Richards thought about the 3. Garcia will take it instead and drain it from the wing. Back-to-back triples from the Cowboys, and they are back within 3. Like a replay of the end of the first half. Oh, and Kalen Gary had his pocket picked, but Richards committed the personal in the act.
You see DJ Richards coming up with the loose ball here and then giving it to Javon Garcia. He knocks home 3, cuts it to a 3-point lead. McNeese State still down.
There is no sport in America that is more difficult to follow than college basketball. It can be overwhelming. That's where the Field of 68 Daily comes into play. The Daily is your go-to source for injury updates, recruiting news, and transfer portal additions that actually matter. For just $50 a year, get access to the same information that your favorite team's coaching staff is subscribed for. Quality content can be hard to find in the college basketball space. The Daily is here to help you with that.
What does primary care mean to us? At Sanford Health, it means being there when and where you need it most. It means building a relationship, because when a provider really knows you, they can deliver the best care for every aspect of your health and your life. So what does primary care mean for you? It means understanding your health for today and for where you're headed next. It means a lifetime of care for a lifetime of you.
Would you be surprised to find out that the Field of 68 is home to more than 35 podcasts? More than 25 team-specific podcasts that are hosted by the people that know what fans want the most. The Goodman and Hummel podcast, the DTF podcast, the A10 Insider podcast, and the Mountain West podcast. But wait, there's even more. The Field of 68 will be launching the ACC Insider podcast this year. Subscribe to this channel and come along for the ride.
A good one here in Sioux Falls to cap things off at the Field of 68 opening day showcase. 6:49 to go in the second 3-point ball game. Hanging out with Jeff Goodman. That's Kansas legend Kirk Heinrich. Had a pretty good NBA career. He's now one of the coaches for the Sanford Basketball Academy.
Look at Jesse stealing all the shine, man. We're trying to talk about Kirk Heinrich. Jesse's like, no. This is my show. I'm the VP of Sanford Sports. I'm here. I'm the story.
I don't think Jesse would ever say that.
No.
Jeff would. Tell Jeff to get out of the way.
Yeah. Jeff maybe would. No, Kirk, who's from this part of the world, now makes his home here in Sioux Falls. Out to watch some high-level basketball today on the opening day of the 2024 men's basketball season. Kalen Gary at the free throw line. Just 1 for 5 from the floor for the redshirt sophomore from De Smet. But he's done a lot of little things that have helped this Jackrabbit team have success.
They all have contributed in their own ways. If they hadn't been shooting, and you take a guy like Morris, he hadn't shot the ball well, but he got 3 steals. He's got multiple blocks. The effort is there.
Four Jackrabbits in double figures, led by Joe Seiler with 14. Hadnot, Clough, and Larson with 11. It's been Breed and Garcia leading the way for the Cowboys. They have 31, split almost evenly between the two. 5-point ball game. Here is Garcia again. Couldn't connect for the second time in a row from that spot. Clough with a big box out of one of the best rebounders in the country in Shoemates. Jackrabbit ball up by 5. Seiler on the floor with 4 fouls. Look at Shoemate. Larson able to keep it alive. Seiler, a deep 3. Clough an offensive rebound, but a shove allowed him to hang on to the basketball.
That is another example of what you were talking about earlier, Alex. I know that they got the offensive foul here, called on Clough on the rebound, but every loose ball, every 50-50 ball feels like it's coming up South Dakota State. And when you're a McNeese State team that's built on effort and built on defense and built on forcing turnovers, that can't happen. You're not going to win games that way. Will Wade has built this roster to win those 50-50 balls.
Because of the ability that they have, the shooting prowess that the Jackrabbits have, they're switching everything. So Shoemate and Charles, their best rebounders, are on the perimeter and hugging up against the shooters. And it's forcing these guards to have to be inside trying to rebound against Clough, and they just can't do it. It's an impossible ask is what it is.
There's a lot of 6'10" dudes that are going to have problems trying to keep Clough off the offensive glass. Now you're going to ask DJ Richards and Javon Garcia.
Yeah. Good luck with that. Yeah.
You mentioned the rebounding edge. South Dakota State a plus 15 on the glass. 12 offensive rebounds to just 3 for McNeese as Seiler gets loose and knocks down the jumper in the lane.
And that's impressive because he's come out, he shot the ball from well. You think you can get up in him and pressure him, and he just gets where he wants and gets to his spot.
And what did Will Wade tell us about Brandon Murray the other day? Randolph, do you remember? He said Brandon Murray is my defender.
Yes, my defender guy. He's
my
guy.
Seiler just with the redshirt freshman Joe Seiler just said, "Yeah, defender, watch this."
Sometimes just better offense. Great offense is just better than good defense. And man, he looked just really confident with that as well.
And after he made that shot, no emotion on his face.
No, I mean, just,
even keel.
Hey, this is what I do, is what he's saying.
I scored 2,700 points at White River High School.
Getting buckets is my thing.
Richards off balance 3. Offensive board for Shoemates. Just the 4th of the game for the Cowboys. Richards, the shot partially blocked by Clough. It was almost a heady play that time by Christian Shoemate to bat that off of Larson.
Grab it. What are you doing?
Exactly. I thought he could have grabbed it. Maybe he felt his momentum couldn't keep him in bounds, but
bit of a helter-skelter possession. Basketball back to South Dakota State as we approach the 5-minute mark. Larson has had a really good game, the true freshman point guard. This one's short. Clough, another push in the back.
It's correct ball there. You see him extend his arm. And that's a bad foul because now Shoemate goes to the line. Chance to cut into this lead without any time running off the clock.
Yeah, the crowd isn't happy about that one, but you could see him. He's leaning him in, the arm in the back, extends it, moves him forward, and gets the offense. Like, he's going to get called every single time. I'm not sure you can argue that one.
Christian Shoemate now with 8 points, 3 of 5 from the line. He was only 47% from the free throw line a season ago. He's handled the pressure so far this evening. His team down by 4. 1 of 2.
Come on, White.
Joe Charles called for the holds.
4. It's 4 on Joe Charles now.
And McNeese State can ill afford to lose his length and activity on the defensive end of the floor. And I mean, Oscar Clough looks massive compared to these guys out here. He's just leaning on him, creating so many issues with 11 points and 13 rebounds.
I think the best thing you could say about Oscar Clough is that it looks like it sucks to play basketball against him. Like, it looks like a miserable time trying to play basketball against him. Because you know he's sweaty, too. And then he's just leaning on you. He's getting sweat on. It's like that scene from Along Came Polly, right? There's no way that's an enjoyable experience for these guys right now.
Let it rain, Rob. Let it rain. 71.
I'm glad someone got that reference.
I'm with you. We're able to back it down. Gary picking up his fourth.
We are reaching that point in time where we might need to just let these guys call their own fouls out here.
I thought it was really good defense there,
yes,
Rob.
It was.
See, now you agree with me?
I'm with you on this one.
I mean, look at him. He moves his feet and.
What is he supposed to? What can he do differently?
I don't know what he can do when he's different there. He held his hand straight up.
Forward. I mean, I guess I don't know. I thought that was good defense.
Considering Murray was trying to back him down, I thought I would have liked for that to be a no call, but.
So Gary will go to the bench. He and Seiler with 4 fouls for South Dakota State. Charles with 4, who was on the floor for McNeese. Brandon Murray able to connect on both free throws. 8 points now for the Ole Miss transfer who's been at LSU, Georgetown, Mississippi, and now McNeese State. 71-68 as Seiler spins and fires over Breed.
I love that, man. Like, I don't know if that's necessarily what Hendo wants, up by 3 with 4 minutes left of the game, but you give the ball to Joe Seiler, and he just said, I'm going to go get myself a bucket. I know you love that, RC.
He's not even running offense. He's basically saying, give me the ball and get out the way is what he's saying.
He's got 18 tonight. Shoemate with the response.
It's a really nice pass. And Brandon Murray has had a couple of those little pocket passes. They've been really nice.
Christian Shoemate closing in on another double-double. 34 a season ago when he averaged a double-double for the year as Clough gets free inside.
Charles came over late, and he didn't want to commit that 5th foul. Just left enough room for Clough to squeeze through, and with his length, just overpowered the 2 and finished.
Allen Breed, such a quick first step to get to the rim.
That's a good timeout from Will. I think that's a really good timeout from Will. Be able to kind of talk. This is going to be a really big possession coming up here for McNeese State. They've finally got their offense figured out. Are they going to find a way to be able to get some stops against South Dakota State? Stop them.
There is no sport in America that is more difficult to follow than college basketball. It can be overwhelming. That's where the Field of 68 Daily comes into play. The Daily is your go-to source for injury updates, recruiting news, and transfer portal additions that actually matter. For just $50 a year, get access to the same information that your favorite team's coaching staff is subscribed for. Quality content can be hard to find in the college basketball space. The Daily is here to help you with that. Do you need your fix of college basketball analysis at the end of every night during the season? If you crave instant reactions and informed breakdowns, make sure you tune into the Field of 68 After Dark every night with access to the biggest stars in the sport and a cast of characters that includes the likes of Tyler Hansborough, Randolph Childress, John Fanta, John Henson, Terrence Oglesby, Jarrell McNeil, and many, many more. The Field of 68 After Dark is where college basketball happens.
I'll throw it to you. 75-72. Jeff Goodman just had a chance to listen to the South Dakota State huddle. Here's what he heard.
So, guys, I was just listening to Anderson in the huddle here at South Dakota State. Really kind of interesting because he's asking these young freshmen, these young guards, what they want to do. He's not telling them. That's how much he respects these kids. And then he said, guys, the end of it, defense. That's what's going to win this. Whoever plays better defensively in these last 325, that's who comes out the winner.
Excellent, Jeff. These freshmen have earned that trust.
Yes. I mean, he's not treating them like freshmen. You can tell by their play. We talked about that. They're playing carefree. They've been allowed to play through their mistakes, and they're allowed to make plays.
10 seconds to shoot. One of those freshmen with the basketball. It's Larson to Seiler, the skip to Moores.
That's a big rebound from Brandon Murray right there. That was the first time we've seen him kind of double down on Clough in the post when they're getting to the glass.
That was Murray at 6'5", going up. Two strong hands. And now Charles at the other ends. Tried to go for the tie, too strong.
Great physical block out there by Lawson. Point guards usually don't box out and rebound. I know I didn't. But a great box out there on Breed.
Clough now, out to Seiler. Morris has Breed backed in deep if he can find him.
Wow.
He will take the baseline jumper. Clough kept it alive. Garcia can take it away. Breed a little slow rejoining the play, but back on his feet. 75-72, approaching the 2-minute mark. Opening day in the college basketball season. Allen Breed splitting the double team. Shoemate got on the basketball and was able to call timeouts.
Great hustle there by Shoemate, diving on the ground, saving the possession there.
If you're Will Wade here, you got 9 seconds left on the shot clock, Randolph. What are you drawing up? What are you calling?
I'd like to see a play with Charles and Breed, maybe get some type of ball screen action, some two-man game. I mean, Breed has been comfortable getting to his spots, but the problem is I would want to run it on the other side to get him on his dominant hand. And
yeah, they have done a good job weakening him. He's gone left off of every
they've
ball.
sent them weak, and they weaken him, and obviously they feel comfortable that he doesn't finish as well going left. But coming out of here, I like to do it maybe a handoff, dribble handoff, so he can come off with his dominant hand and get downhill. And the problem you're going to have is with Shoemate there, he doesn't stretch the floor for you, so you may have to involve him in the action as well.
Allen Breed is McNeese's leading scorer tonight with 18. He'd be a good option to go to.
I just don't think you need a three here.
No, you don't. There's plenty of time. Get the ball in Breed's hand, or I think Garcia. Garcia's been really effective in getting to his spots as well, and I wouldn't be upset if they put the ball in his hand as well.
There's some kind of zoom action with the two of them.
They'll have 9 seconds on the shot clock coming out of the timeout. McNeese trailing by 3. South Dakota State has led for much of this game by as many as 10 on a couple of occasions. The Cowboys have kept it between 3 and 6 for the most part over the final 10 minutes of this half.
Breed's not even on the floor right now, so this has got to end up in Garcia's hands, right?
Yes.
Keep an eye on Richards Jr. as well, their best three-point shooter. Great the man who gets the basketball. Good close by Gary. Garcia now with 4 to shoot. That is a tough shot.
Great defensive possession.
Look at Charles throwing it off the back of Seiler, who was out of bounds. Larson and the Jackrabbits, they do everything right defensively, but they can't get the basketball.
This is a fun game. We got two teams out here that are playing like this is the Final Four. On the first day of the college basketball season in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, on the Field of 68 opening day showcase. Does it get better than this?
It doesn't get any better than this. I'm just so impressed with South Dakota's physicality this game. I mean, they are really, I'd say it, they've been the more physical team.
Richards. An open three for Murray. No. Gets his own miss. Shoemate inside. Will be the 4th personal on Oscar Clough.
Clough got stuck under the rim that time. He came over to help, and when the pass came, he was just there. The only thing he can do to avoid the foul is just elevate and jump, and And I don't know if Oscar Clough jumps anyway. So.
Yeah, you said elevate like he's getting off
Yeah, it's not his game, but
we knew what you meant. Using that term loosely.
Yeah, he just got stuck under the rim there. He came over to help the teammate out and just did an extra pass. This is nothing he could do.
Shoemate gets one of
Another
two.
offensive rebound.
Big board by Charles.
We saw this in the last game, the inability to end possessions down the stretch. Ended up costing St. Louis. We'll see if it costs South Dakota State here as well.
Someone besides Clough's got a rebound.
But what they're doing there is they're putting
yes, in the ball screens. Putting Clough in the ball screens, and he's defending on the perimeter.
Is a Shoemate for three? No. Clough does come up with the board.
They had enough looks. It was 6 shots in that possession.
And you didn't need to take the 3 there.
Final minute of this one, 75-73. South Dakota State up by 2 over the reigning Southland champions from McNeese State. Clough inside, working on Murray, the skip to Larson in the corner for 3. Owen Larson! The freshman, as he's done all night. 78-73. Crowd on their feet once again. 30 seconds left in regulation. Murray on the drive, no. Gary the rebounds.
Got a foul, got a foul.
Moore's inside. 7-point ball game. Garcia the long desperation 3, no. Moore's with the basketball. South Dakota State is going to go 1-0 on the season with a big-time victory over the best team in the Southlands. 80-73 the final. What a gutsy performance by this young Jackrabbit squad. Eric Henderson said they were tough. Said they were a tough team. They proved it tonight.
And how about the pass from Oscar Clough, too? Because they sent 2 at him, and he had the ball in the post, and he was able to just see over the defense and flick it to Larson in the corner, who banged home that. He shot it with no hesitation. He wanted that shot.
I think the only thing that I'm shocked about again is I raved about how McNeese State and how physical a team they were, and they got beat up today by the better team.
They did. That was a really, really impressive performance from a team that started 2 freshmen and had 5 freshmen in their top 8.
It's impressive performance by South Dakota State.
3 of those freshmen in double figures. That trade by Larson is 4th of the ball game. He finishes with 14. Another freshman, Joe Seiler, leading the way with 18. Stoney Hadnot with 12 on the night. 14 points, 14 rebounds for Oscar Clough in this game.
South Dakota State plus 14 on the glass.
I never would have thought it.
Absolutely not.
I never would have thought it. But you know what? We underestimated the freshmen, we underestimated the young guys, and we especially underestimated the impact that Oscar Clough would have on that game.
We're going to hear from one of those youngsters in just a moment. And Owen Larson with one of the shots of the night to propel the Jackrabbits to victory. Larson is standing by with our Jeff Goodman, Eric Henderson over there as well.
Yeah,
take it away, Jeff.
Both of you, yeah, you're both. Good. All right, here with the coach, Eric Henderson, the freshman, and the freshman hits the big shot. Yep. So the ball gets to you, and what are you thinking? I mean, Oscar, I wasn't sure he was going to get to you quick enough.
Yeah. You know, let it fly. I mean, my teammates got faith in me. My coaches got faith in me. So really just being around a great group of guys who have faith in you. I mean, that shot was going up right when I got it, you know.
You told me about Owen Larson. You told me about him a few weeks ago. You told me about him again a couple days ago. You said, listen, I don't know if we're going to win this game, but this dude here is going to be unflappable. He's like this. What do you think of his performance and your other young guards' performance?
I mean, I told you from the very start, I knew we were going to be tough, right? I really like how this group has come together. He takes care of the ball so well, and we just believe in each other. Like he said, I mean, Oscar was getting double-teamed the whole game down there, and it's not about Oscar. This is about our team, and he just trusted his other guys, and that's how we've done it all the time, and that's how we're going to continue to do it.
Oh, do you even understand how big a win this was? I mean, it's your first college game, and you beat a McNeese State team that went to the tournament last year. They're going to go again, most likely. They're big, they're physical, they're old. You guys are young. You don't look the part, right?
Yep. You know, I just go out there. I have fun. We're playing a kid's game, so just go out there, play hard, and have fun. That's all you can ask for. So.
How much does this mean? You've been here long enough. You got this crowd, you got this team coming in, and you delivered.
Well, I told you we'd play anybody in the state of South Dakota, right? And I got to give Coach Wade a great amount of credit. They got a great team. He played a great game. Then come to here to play us. It's not easy, and I understand that. And we're just very fortunate to have people that really, really care about us.
Well, listen, congrats, guys. Heck of a game, heck of a first game. I don't know how it can get much better, right?
Oh, I know how it can, my man. I know how it can.
Listen,
Appreciate
thanks,
you.
guys.
Great event.
No, great event. Thanks, guys.
Great stuff, Jeff. Big thanks to Coach Henderson and his freshman point guard, Owen Larson. The Jackrabbits with a massive victory over a team that won 30 games a year ago, and we expect to hit that number or close to it again this time around, Rob.
Yeah, it was so tough defensively. I thought that we were going to have a game here where it would rely on South Dakota State making 13, 14, 15, 16 threes. And they won this game with their defense. That's the thing that I didn't expect.
Unbelievable performance by South Dakota State. But what a day, guys. Oh, what a day. I mean, we've had 3 games, and I got enough energy to do another one. It's a great day, great working with you guys. Had a ton of fun today.
No, an absolute pleasure. Yes, for Randolph Childress, for Rob Doster, for Jeff Goodman, for our entire crew. I'm Alex Seinert. The nightcap, as Randolph said, puts the bow on what has been a phenomenal start to the Field of 68 opening day showcase. We say the first annual, right, Rob?
That's the first annual. I hope I'll have a staff. I want to thank all the people, the production staff here. I want to thank all the people that work at the Pentagon, all the people from Sanford Sports. Alex, I want to thank you. It's not easy to jump on here and work with us. We're a different group of guys, and we appreciate you being here. Field of 68 opening day showcase.